love movies. And like every other girl in the world, I love romantic movies. Tragic love stories like Titanic or Romeo and Juliet, comedic love stories like The Proposal or Crazy Stupid Love, and even cheesy love stories like any movie based off of a Nicholas Sparks novel. I love them all. And as girls, we all have our very specific, very detailed list of everything we like about these fictional characters. And every girl has a very detailed list about their ideal husband or their Mr. Right, and it usually is based off of a character in their favorite romantic love movie. Now, I definitely have one of these lists as well, but I would just like to ask us ladies, every girl has a list of what they want in their future husband, but have you ever thought about what you want your future husband to see in you? Now, I went ahead and analyzed myself, and I picked the 3 top things that I would want my ideal man or my future husband to know about me. So, those are my faith, my positive attitude, and my sincere personality. Now, the sources I used were Bible Gateway, IMDb, Yahoo, Crosswalk, Dating Without Drama, Merriam-Webster Dictionary, Brady Quote, and I interviewed my mom and my dad. Only fear the Lord and serve Him faithfully with all your heart. Just consider what great things He has done for you. 1 Samuel 12:24. That is one of my favorite verses, and it just brings a great segue into my first topic, my faith, and how it is the number one thing in my life, the most important aspect of my life, and the number one thing I would want my ideal guy to know about me. I grew up in a Christian home. My dad is a pastor, and so I remember being at the church when I was 5 years old, and they would be turning the lights off on us and telling us to leave so the janitors could come in and clean. I literally grew up in a church, and so it taught me to find my identity in Christ. So that is my number one thing I would want a future ideal guy to know about me. Now, along with that, I have some Christian divorce statistics from Dr. Wilcox. He's a professor at the University of Virginia. He also runs the National Marriage Project. And he has done studies that show a church-going Protestant, like every week they go to church and they go with their spouse, they are 35% less likely to have a divorce. And so I think what a wonderful way to show my future husband that I would be committed to our marriage. Just because that is really important to me, and that is one of the reasons my faith is the number one thing I would want my ideal guy to know about me. My mama says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. This quote is from one of my favorite movies, Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump had it right when he was talking about this, because life is hard, but you just have to take it as it comes and do it with a positive personality. When I got this topic to talk about, I called my mom and asked her, what would be one thing you think about me that I would want an ideal guy to know? And she would say, oh, definitely your positive attitude. And I was like, really, why? And she said, well, you've always had a positive attitude about everything in your whole life. She said, even when you were really little, I remember I would go into the kitchen and I would be like, Lindsay, how much juice do you want? And you would say, half full, please. And I just think that's a great example of my positive personality and how even at a very young age, I've seen the cup as not half empty, but half full. Also, I read an article on on Dating Without Drama, funny name. It's called The Power of Having a Positive Attitude. And the quote is, I prefer to lighten my load by lightening up my attitude. And this article is talking about relationships and how a positive attitude can affect a relationship. And it was saying a positive attitude in a relationship can cause 20% less stress on each of the people in the relationship. So my positive attitude would have a good impact on our relationship. So it's the second thing I would want my ideal guy to know about me. Now, a real man wants the type of woman that isn't afraid to be herself. And this is from a Yahoo article titled, What Type of Women Real Men Want? And when I called my dad and interviewed him, the first thing he said without pausing was my sincere personality. And so I looked up the definition of sincerity, and it says, the quality or state of being sincere, the honesty of one's mind, and the freedom from hypocrisy. And this definitely is my personality. I am not hypocritical. I'm always real, and my dad has always said, with Lindsey, what you see is what you get. And so that would be the third thing I would want my ideal guy to know about me. Then lastly, I would just like to challenge you ladies listening that the next time you sit down to watch your favorite romantic movie, instead of thinking about the ideal traits you want the guy, the future Mr. Right to have, think about the things you can work on in yourself and the ideal things you want the guy to see in you. I think Cher said it right when she said, when you stop trying to find the right man and start becoming the right woman, the right man will find his way to you.